Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Grace Mase on the line, and she's CEO and founder over at BEYREP. Grace, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's definitely a privilege to be here.
So, Grace, I'm excited to get more into what you're doing over at BEYREP and how you're helping your clients. But before we do that, let's get a little bit further into your background. So how did you get started in your career and as an entrepreneur?
Well, funny thing is, I just recently wrote a book, and I was digging through my past, and it really started when I was 5. I love going to construction sites and watching my dad lit up on his face when he sees the project start evolving and transform from his dream to a reality. That was the pivotal moment of my life. And I immigrated to America from Taiwan when I was 11, and I ended up pursuing in science and math and art. And as a result, when I was looking into majors in college, I ended up pursuing in architecture. I did my undergrad at Berkeley in architecture, and also proceeded to work at a campus architect at UC Berkeley for some time. And then when I felt I was ready, it was about 3 years later, I went and pursued to get my master's degrees in architecture. And as fun as it was really hard work, and met a tremendous amount of challenges, and also great friends supporting and professors to learn from. But throughout this experience, what I was really fascinated is how information or how space could change people's attitude and emotions. Then I was exposed to computer rendering and so forth. A friend of mine suggests, hey, you should try to create, come over and help us to create some digital assets. And as a result, I pursued in the tech space for the last 20 years. And just,
wow.
So that was my many pivots along my life journey.
Wow, what an amazing story, and I love it because you're like, when your life was changed just watching your dad on that construction site and seeing like his dream become reality, like from paper on there, and that's a really amazing story. So now you've been, obviously you've gone quite you've gone quite a bit down your path. You're not that Grace that's just getting started in her career or as an entrepreneur. What kind of advice would you give to that? Now, obviously, you have the benefit of experience under your belt. What kind of advice would you give to that, that new budding entrepreneur that's really just getting started out there?
That's a great question, because in the tech space or many startup company, everyone's feeling the pressure of getting things out the door, getting funded. The pressure is enormous, and which is a certain level of pressure is good, but at the same time, there's also reality. You have life, and to have a good balance of life, health, and good drive to do something that's meaningful for solving problems for others. That's where you find the interesting pivotal points where it matters to not just to people around you and also yourself. So pace yourself. Don't stress too much. Don't feel the need to be the first to get millions and whatnot. Those are important milestones, but be good to yourself.
Oh, man, that's a great one. You know what? I think that one might go on my Twitter as podcast quote of the day. Be good to yourself. Real simple, but I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we have the habit of beating ourselves up or maybe looking at where somebody else is at or where we thought we'd be at or all these other things. And you heard it here from Grace. Be good to yourself. That's going on Ask Adam Torres. I'm in. So, Grace, I wanna switch it up a bit. Let's get into what you're doing over at BEYREP. So first, tell me a little bit more about the company, please.
So we are a tech-based company, a marketplace for home improvements. It's for both homeowners and professionals work together using a collaborative platform to manage their projects. So if you think more like, for us, because construction or design construction is very much a relationship business. Often people think that this is transactional, but in reality, it's very much a relationship. If you think about home ownership, average in America is about 20 years. And yet marriage in America average about 8 years. Of course, 7 years of together and partying for 1 year for the paperwork, as you know. But the sad thing is we don't spend nearly as much time to find the right people who we are compatible to work with, whether you want to differ as personalities, whatnot. I know one of your previous guest speakers, he emphasized the personality as such a key thing. And I share the same view too, because when you work with someone you're compatible with, no matter how difficult the problem may be, you'll figure it out. You'll work it out together. But when you work with someone who's not compatible with, no matter how small the issue, things can blow out of proportion. And so when you're talking about home improvements or home-related constructions, it's a huge financial investment and it's enormous emotional investment. And sometimes we forget about that piece of it. And then when things go wrong, people immediately start pointing fingers at each other versus finding ways to work together more effectively and productively. And so we developed software that not only match people on qualifications, but we also match people on personalities, preference, and priorities. And when we match the homeowners with compatible professionals to work with them, not just looking for a contractor or architect, but we actually get to know the homeowner as to what type of project, what type of goal they want to accomplish. Because once you have a purpose or goal, then it's easy to figure out, all right, what's the game plan? Who do we need to bring on the team, and what's the schedule is going to look like, and how do we execute? And so this is what I'm really excited about, bringing bright people together, working through the projects. It's not based on how much you pay, but it's very much based on who you're good to work with well. And then we have entire project management tools tracking everything from the original bids to all the change orders, communication decisions, and also the payments and documents all in one place. You can access on your mobile when you're traveling. You can easily communicate and process the payment directly on your mobile device. And so in today's age, and also millennial home buyers, this is what they expect. And actually, most of us expect everything to be on mobile and to be accessible anytime, anywhere. And we want to make sure we provide the right information real time so both parties can make the right decision for their needs. And so it's not the matching and also the project management piece is what makes BEYREP special.
Wow, that's amazing. And what I love about it is you're really making a process that can be really difficult a lot more seamless. And that's what people really want. And you're definitely solving a need that's out there, because we all know the horror stories of what happens when this isn't done right. And the fact that you're taking it down to the granular level of even personality match, or even contemplating that, and not just your typical matrix of can they do the job, will they do the job, do they have time to do it? I mean, all those, like the very basics, you're taking it levels deeper. So Grace, there's some people listening right now that are thinking, wow, this sounds really good, but am I the right fit? What kind of client is the right type of client to use BEYREP, and what kind of areas are serviced? Give us a little bit more there so people should know if they should follow up.
Sure. It's a great question. In terms of right client, reality is for us, we serve both sides, both the homeowners and professionals. Professional, whether it's an architect, engineers, designers, contractors, and so forth. But it's really about what do they want to get out of it. Our objective is to empower people to own their potentials, stand in their greatness, so that they can celebrate their present and joyfully and upgrade their future. By means, as a homeowner, using that mission statement, if they're looking for someone to come help them to create this beautiful space for themselves and create beautiful space for the loved ones or people that matter to them, that's the right client for us. And at the same time, for the professionals who are interested to grow their business and also serving and helping others to achieve their dreams and help them to reach their potentials, that is what we're looking for. And we have professionals using our system, and they love our system because this becomes their back office, especially for small business owners. They don't have plethora of support teams such as marketing, accounting, and so forth. This becomes all in one. And even for them, they declared, because using our application saves them 30% of their time not to do follow-ups, because our system does the follow-up for them. So they don't have to go through their list of things and go through, carbon copy of contract to check which payment was paid or which change order was approved. our system does it automatically for them. And on top of that, for homeowners, they have that peace of mind knowing that everything, they can actually see the progress. It's very transparent. That effectively forces all parties that's involved accountable for their own actions. And so they know when they're supposed to pay, when they need to make decisions. They see their task coming up, or they know decision needs to be made, so they're not delaying the crew in order to meet the timeline. So part of it is educating both sides to make sure that they both are using the same language to communicate and engaging with each other and managing the project together.
Wow, that's awesome. It definitely sounds like a win-win situation there. So, Grace, if somebody's listening to this and they do want to learn more about BEYREP, what's the best way for them to follow up and get that info?
Absolutely. The best way is go on to www.beyrep.com, or if you have if you have iOS device or Android device, you can download directly from the Apple Store or the Google Play. And we have app directly downloadable, and you can install it immediately. And once you sign up, you can use it, transact, communicate, engage, everything, all managing the project together with your clients throughout the whole cycle of the project.
Perfect. And again, Grace, and that's BEYREP. And to the listeners, that's BEYREP. That's B-E-Y-R-E-P. Again, B-E-Y-R-E-P is the way you spell BEYREP. Well, hey, Grace, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great work you're doing over at BEYREP. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. Do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And Grace, thank you again for coming on the show.